hard being the star, the highest paid star on American television? Does it bring with it a peculiar pressure? You obviously are very competitive. You said earlier you like to win, you like to be a winner.
Sure, yeah.
Because you're so competitive, that pressure when you're number one, to stay number one, can that in itself drive you to go and seek release? To go, want to go and just have a few days getting away from it, of course?
Yeah, no, that's I'm sure one of the elements that might drive it, but I don't think that that's it entirely. For me, it got into a redundancy issue, got into this thing about, what others would call, discipline, structured, focus, all that available. It just came down to me just bored out of my freaking tree, and that's why I kept giving them numbers at the 7-year mark, to not come back. And they finally just said, more. And my friend Mark Alder said, this is really on them. Didn't they know who they were giving all this dough to? What, it's going to that guy, and they thought nothing was going to change? I mean, he was joking, of course.
No, but there's a certain truth to that. Not like you became a party boy in the last year. I mean, you've always been a legendary Hollywood hellraiser. Mm-hmm. So giving you $1.8 million a show is a bit like giving a kid who's got a sweet addiction a candy store.
Right. Then, you mean the whole store?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You've had the whole store.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, where do we go from?
Anyway, that's silly. I'll tell you what, we'll go to a break.
Okay, right on.
Have a think about it.
Okay.
And now my special live guest, Charlie Sheen. Charlie, there have been reports in the papers in the last 2 or 3 years hinting at violence by you towards, well, one was towards your wife and one was towards a porn star in a hotel. Right. Were they true? Did the drugs make you violent? Do you regret what happened on those two instances?
No, those are 2 instances where the scoreboard doesn't lie. And that, the Aspen thing was thrown out. The judge was like, get this guy to my county, basically arrested him. And then the police report in New York didn't reflect anything. And those are the guys that are going to report the facts. And the jobs were on the line. So I just offer people those.
Have you ever hit a woman?
I have not. No. Women are not to be hit. They're to be hugged and caressed.
Few people that are very close to you have expressed real concern.
I'm sorry. There was an incident years ago, and everybody thought I hit her. I was trying to contain her, and I had her arms, and we both went to the ground, and she hit her.
Who was that?
Her initials are B.A. I'll give you that much. I don't want to make the whole thing about her, Okay. And I felt terrible, and I delivered her to a plastic surgeon and tried to, and everybody said, you hit her, and I'm like, no, she hit her thing, and whatever, it's over. But
and do you
I felt bad about that one, yeah.
You regret that?
Yeah, she was attacking me, though. With a small fork, like a cocktail fork, and I think she had it with her. That's the weird part. What was she doing with like a shrimp fork in her purse?
But is there ever any?
She stole it, clearly.
But is there any?
Buffet. Sorry.
I know. But is there any ever defense?
Well, you can't. Whatever story you come up with sounds like you've made it up. So, and that's the truth, and that's what happened.
But you regret that incident?
Oh God, yeah. But I never really told the story about that because everybody was under a gag order or something. There were heinous things that led up to that I was trying to fend off. Whatever. I'll own it. And so I just remember that when you asked. That's the only time that it was presumed that I'd done so.
Your publicist, Stan,
he quit.
He quit today.
He quit.
He had enough.
Stan, where are you? Stan, what happened?
I'll be honest with you. I really like Stan.
I do too.
He's a thoroughly decent guy. Well, he loves you, but he felt
Clearly not.
Well, he felt that he couldn't control you anymore. You were uncontrollable.
What's the control? Just get over here and enjoy the ride, bro. We're starting to win.
But hard for a publicist if you're acting as your own publicist.
I mean, I'd like to believe that the progress I've made in the last few days is a slightly better plan than some of the stuff he was rolling out with at times, I've been able to answer calls and deal with people directly. And I said, well, why should I talk to you? We've had a lousy relationship all these years. And they'll say, well, we've never really spoken. And I'll say, okay, great. Let's park all that, and then let's say it's never too late to get a fresh start. And
what would you say to Stan if he's watching this?
Get back over here and stop with your silliness. I just said Stan, I don't want
to. Yeah. The other man who's obviously very important in your life, your father, Martin Sheen, described your illness as like a cancer.
Dude, relax. It's so dramatic, He's entitled to that. I don't support it. Sorry.
Have you talked to him about it?
I have not. No. This quote of his is like following me everywhere. You
haven't discussed it with him?
No. I'm sure he'll hear something about it in one of his interviews. But I'm just as much as I love him, I'm 45 with 5 kids, you know.
Does he not call you as a matter of course? Do you not speak too much?
No, I mean, he's been out of the country, I think. That's why he hasn't called. But I mean,
is your dad not going through this tumultuous period in your life?
I mean, I think people think that it's a lot harder on me than it is. You know, I'm on a quest to claim absolute victory across the board on every front in this whole mess. I'm here to right, as I said, every single wrong, and reveal the people that are responsible for all of this foolishness.
Is your game plan to actually end up getting your job back?
Well, I would love that. Yeah, I mean, I signed a deal for 2 years.
So you said earlier in the interview, Charlie, that you were bored with it. This is one of the problems that you had.
Right. There was a redundancy factor to it, but that doesn't matter. That was an old brain. I got a new brain. You know, I have a 10,000-year-old brain and the boogers of a 7-year-old. That's how I describe myself. You know.
So since you've been clean, in your head, have you thought, something I've nearly lost here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
One of the great jobs in television.
Yes. Pick it back up. You know, suit up, boot up, and let's get this thing back on the air.
And do you have it in you to be disciplined enough now?
Absolutely.
To not fall by the wayside.
I'll be waiting on them. I'll be waiting on them.
You said in an interview today that you wanted a pay rise.
No, that was stupid.
Were you joking?
No, I was joking about being underpaid, but to come back season 10, that's all negotiable. You can't talk about this stuff on television. Then why did you? I don't know. It's on crack. There's Dr. Drew when you need him.
Well, funny enough, we have got a clip from Dr. Drew. I did interview Dr. Drew, actually.
Did you? Yeah.
He was quite interesting because anyone
There's no way to get that time back.
Well, I think a lot of these guys who are involved in treating addicts,
are they addicts themselves? What are his credentials? I don't know who this man is.
Let's take a quick listen to Dr. Drew. Let's hear what he said to me.
Okay, this ought to be stunning.
Separate conditions. There's the addiction, which gets triggered, which is the biological disorder of the brain, and there are the underlying environmental and psychological issues that push somebody over into addiction in the first place. The issue of dealing with the so-called demons, which in my world, I always tell people that if you have bad enough addiction, you need to see me, 100% probability you've had childhood trauma. So we're really talking about childhood trauma, and that takes years to sort through.
You're not taking that very seriously, are you?
Here are my notes.
What do you think when you hear that kind of professional?
I just think you cannot, I mean, come on, man, that's ridiculous to have a prognosis about somebody you've never been in the same room with based on his image in a media setting. I think he should be ashamed of himself. I would never sit here and tell you who the heck he is or what drives or fuels him. I don't know. I just got to dismiss these clowns.
Have you seen the programs for alcoholism and drug addiction? Have you seen it work for friends of yours?
Some, yeah, but
you do accept it can work.
Well, but what they don't tell you at the door is that they have a 5% success rate. And as a retired gambler, I can 22 years around this thing. It's not like I gave it a year. I gave it, O.T.G, that's half my life, like 48%. And so, I just, at some point I got to try something different. How about I rely on me?
Going to have another break now. When we come back, I'm just going to ask you how you see your future after all this gets sorted in whatever way. But first is my colleague, Anderson Cooper. Anderson, what a break when I spoke briefly with Anderson Cooper. You're seeing images from Libya and everything, and you kind of feel that you being the centre of the news for the last few weeks, kind of crazy given everything else that's been going on.
A little bizarre. You turn on 11 News, and I'm the lead story, and then they get to that. I'm thinking the world is upside down, but I guess that shows the power of the business that I'm in.
We've been through, obviously, the full range of what's been going on here. What I think is inarguable is that you clearly, if this had been handled in a different way, I think you'd have sat down and you would have expressed proper regret over some of your behaviour. I get that sense.
Of course I would. There's no gratitude here. There's none. There's no gratitude whatsoever. Nobody will call me. Have the decency to just call me.
What is the answer to where you found yourself with CBS and the show? Because there are millions of fans.
What is the answer as far as what? What do you mean?
Well, millions of fans just want the show back on air. What is the way to make that happen?
I don't know, but it might involve all of us getting into a room.
And what would you say if you did?
I would say, okay, you've agreed to pay the crew 4 shows, you got to pay them 8, then you got to pay the rest of the cast 8, then you got to pay me 8, and then we can have a dialogue. That's just doing the right thing.
But what would you then sign up to in terms of personal behavior?
I guess I would have to play ball on some front, but I don't feel like they still have a right to interfere in my personal life. I really don't feel like I don't do it in theirs. If they'll submit to all the same constraints, all the same points to that agreement, then fine, I'm on board. But then I start hearing stories about they're going to hire John Stamos. Like, you guys do that, you deserve everything that happens later, Sorry, John, you're a lovely man, but you got on me on Howard Stern, bro, and I don't forget anything,
You're quite sensitive underneath the brash exterior.
Well, sensitive, yeah, when I have to be, sure. But, when I'm fighting a war, there's no room for sensitivity.
But has any of this really upset you? Properly upset you?
I was upset when, after being kind of picked on and a little bit, that stuff, by Chuck and the vanity cards for like 8 years, and I finally fired back once. Now, my fire back was a 2,000-pound bomb, and it was, laser guy didn't.
Well, obviously, he's the creator of the show. He and you.
But he took his ball and went home. I mean, one crack, he took his ball and went home. I'm like, dude, come on. If he wasn't already trying to get off the show, then I don't know what else.
But here's the sadness. You guys must have been very good friends at some stage.
Never. No.
Really?
Never.
You never had that kind of relationship?
Probably like the first hour, maybe, and then it was like, you must let me impose my will all over your face. It was like, whoa, dude. I don't want anything that you got.
Do you regret making the little, what appeared to be an anti-Semitic dig at him?
Well, yes, I do. I regret it in a way that I didn't even think about it, and then, I should have thought about it. Stupid move. Sorry.
Would you say sorry to him if you had the chance?
Well, of course I would, but I didn't think that was, I thought the rules had been established. He calls me Carlos Estevez a lot, which is my real name, and then I saw the other name in his vanity card, and I said it, and the world just started burning down around me.
What's your biggest regret of all this? Just time again, what would you do differently?
Wow, again, we got to go back to those moments and bring back a souvenir. You can't really change them.
You can't change it, but you can regret.
I don't know. Maybe I should have been a little quieter, a little softer. But look what happens when you decide to blaze a trail. You find out that that those that can't stand the heat around them, they don't really have the guts to survive.
No one from CBS has called in the last hour, so we gave them the opportunity to decide not to comment.
I know, and I just wonder why Chuck has not answered those questions that I gave to the other guy.
Right. If they make contact tomorrow, and if they say, why don't we try and all get together here and try and
right here. I'm not going anywhere.
You're available.
Well, yeah, I don't have a job. I could come here and color commentate for you.
I'd love that.
Okay, great.
Become co-host for a week if you like.
Call Rick.
How do you hope it ends?
I have a vision of us getting back on the air for season 9 and then doing season 10 and then cleaning up all this mess behind us, and then when we're back on the stage and doing it all perfectly and brilliantly, that a couple of adjustments will have been made. We all know where we stand right now, so we can't be like, hey, good to see you again. Not, so yeah.
What about your fellow cast members? Have you talked to any of them?
I have not, because I don't feel like there's any real support there. No one has issued a statement. I haven't made a phone call. I get a couple angry texts, whatever, but I ignore that. But I'm out here doing this for all of us guys. I'm not here trying to embarrass you or ruin your jobs or ruin the show.
Do they feel you let them down?
I don't know. I'd be speaking for them, but it would have been nice if there was some measure of support from anybody at this point. That's all right, man. Every great movement begins with one man, and I guess that's me.
You're the kind of Che Guevara of Hollywood at the moment.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Nice.
Charlie, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
It's been fascinating, and I hope you do get sorted.
You're fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you come back on when it gets resolved and talk about it.
Absolutely. After I go on.
Because I kind of feel that TV needs you.
Yes, it does.
You're one of life's great characters.
Oh, thank you.
And you've admitted you've fallen by the wayside a little bit.
Sure.
But everyone's entitled to a second go.
There you go.
So I wish you good luck with it.
Thank you, sir.
Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Keep winning.
An extraordinary interview there with Charlie Sheen. And I mean what I say. I hope they resolve it and he's back on what's one of the best shows on TV after all. That's all for us now. Here's my colleague Anderson Cooper with AC360.